'cause I'm gonna miss you.
Rainy days, rainy days, rainy days, rainy days, rainy days,
'Cause I'm gonna miss you.
Hi, it's me. It's me again. I say that because I just finished filming my last video, which was my library haul. So I feel like I've just been sitting here for a really long time and I want to go back to bed. But yeah, we're gonna finish this. This is my August wrap up. I don't know why I want to do like this, but it's because I'm wearing a sweater and I just feel real cozy right now. It feels good. Yes, it's like 100 degrees outside, but it's freezing in my house, so it's a win. So this month I read a total of 11 books and I have them all written down right here, so I'm going to go be looking at this like a crazy person. I am super professional YouTuber. We know this. So let's start with what I rated the lowest, and by lowest I mean I didn't give it a rating because it's an anthology and I hate rating anthologies. Yeah? Okay. So this is Punk Fiction. It's an anthology, like I said. It is a collection of short stories inspired by punk music. I loved this. I thought it was perfect. I'm really glad I have this in my collection. It's a very good coffee table book, which I sound like such a weirdo saying that, like, oh, it's a coffee table book, but it's a good coffee table book, okay? I actually made a playlist of all the songs that are featured in this, and I will have it linked down below, so if you want to check that out and listen to that, you are welcome to, and you can follow me on Spotify. I listen to a lot of stuff. But yeah, this was a really good book. There's so many little stories in here, and this book, every sale of it went to charity, so that was really cool. But I didn't rate it because it's an anthology. But yeah, so technically this had no rating. But look at the cover. It's cool. It's cute. I liked it. The end. Next book that I read was that I gave 2 stars. I had no 1-star books this month, which is legit. I rarely ever have 1-star books because typically I only give 1 star if it's like barely comprehensible. But I did have 2-star books, and the first 2-star book I read was Genius by Leopoldo Gout. This is Genius the Game. It's the first in, I think, a trilogy. This cover is gorgeous. No matter how I feel about the book, the cover is just magical. It's beautiful. So this book followed 3 teenagers who were brilliant in their respective fields. One is a programmer, one's an inventor, and one is an activist. And they are just brilliant, and they are invited to compete in this thing called the game. And this game is essentially supposed to be finding the best of the best. And I liked the premise. I thought it was going to be a little more Hunger Games. This turned out to be a little more like The Amazing Race. But the story itself was a little rushed. This book isn't very big, and there are a lot of like drawings and pictures and stuff in this, and I still just I felt like it dragged, but it was also rushed. Does that make sense? Probably not, because I'm out of focus and even my camera can't keep up with me. I just didn't like this book. And then there was a plot twist at the end that really made me want to read the sequel. Am I going to continue on? Maybe, but I'm not going to buy the rest of the collection unless they're this beautiful, and I'm going to feel really bad about it if I do. So yeah, I didn't really like this book. I didn't like the characters. They weren't very interesting to me except for one of them. And the antagonist of the story was very obvious. I think it was supposed to be like a plot twist, but it didn't come off that way. It was like introduction, antagonist. This is the antagonist. So I wasn't a big fan. But this cover is so pretty. And if I do buy the rest, I'm going to buy them on sale. Like, I refuse to pay full price. But they better have really nice covers. Then the next 2-star... Do I have another 2-star? The next 2-star book I'm very sad about. It is Darkness on the Edge of Town. At the Edge of Town? On the Edge of Town. This is a Stranger Things novel. This is the second Stranger Things novel. This one takes place between season 2 and season 3, and it follows Hopper as he is telling Elle about his life as a homicide detective in New York City in 1977. This book was real boring. The premise of it was interesting. There was a really cool, idea behind it, but it was so boring. It's not super long, but it took me forever to finish this book. I could not get into it, and every time I picked it up, I was like, okay, here we go again. I don't think this should have been a Stranger Things novel. If it hadn't been touted as a Stranger Things novel, it would have been better. I think they kind of added a lot of Stranger Things elements to it just to sell the book, which is kind of disappointing. But Hopper didn't act anything like Hopper that we know in the show, and then the commentary from Elle was very minimum. So I didn't like it. I don't think it should be considered a Stranger Things novel. Maybe if it wasn't a Stranger Things novel, I would have liked it more, because then it would have been just a homicide cop investigating things, and I thought that was a decent premise, but meh. Then the next book I have are the 3.5 out of 5 star books, or the 3 point something. Let's see. The first 3-star book I have is Born to Rock by Gordon Corman? I was going to say Conrad. This is about a kid who is the president of Young Republicans. He is on his way to Harvard, but then he ends up losing his scholarship to Harvard, and then he also finds out that his father is think Johnny Rotten. His father is King Maggot, who is this really, really crazy punk rocker guy, and he decides to go on tour with his dad and figure out, he goes on tour with not the best intentions. He's gonna go on tour and try to get his dad to pay for this, but he doesn't want to come off as a gold digger because he doesn't have a scholarship, and he's never reached out to his father because he didn't even know who he was, and so now he has to try to convince his dad to pay for his Harvard scholarship and not be completely fazed by his father being this crazy rock star. This book was cute. I love the cover, the DNA with the guitar. It's really cool. This book was fun. I'm not sure if there's a spin-off book. I'm not sure if I'm going to read that, but I did enjoy this while I read it. It's pretty short, and it was pretty fun. After I read the punk fiction book, I really wanted to pick this up, and it was a good book. It was decent, an enjoyable read. Not something I would say is my favorite book, but it was a decent book, and I had never read a book by that author before, so all in all, decent, I guess. Then I have Something Real. This was also a 3.5 or 3 out of 5 star book. This is by Heather Demetrius. This book follows a girl whose family is essentially 19 kids and counting. It's called The Baker's Dozen. They have 12 siblings, or she has 8 siblings, 9 siblings, whatever, to make a dozen. And her show is canceled or whatever at the beginning of the book, and she's kind of living a normal life under the radar, and then her show gets picked back up, and she is now having to navigate her normal life and her show life and trying to deal with being propelled into this fame. And I really enjoyed the book. It was a fun contemporary read. Good for summer, good for laying around the house and just reading. But I didn't love the book. There were some funny parts, there were some really good parts, and some heart-wrenching parts. And if you like reality TV, you'll probably like this. I decently like the Kardashians, so I read this. It's pretty good. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah. The cover's cute though, so that's cool. Yeah. Next book, this was a 3.5 out of 5 stars that I just want to give to everything. This was Hello Sunshine, and this is by Layla Howland. I really enjoyed this book. It was very cute. It's about a girl who, what's her name? Becca Harrington. She gets rejected from college. She gets dumped by her boyfriend. Life is just not going well for her. And she ends up moving to California, I think. Yeah, she moves to LA. And she is trying to make it on her own. I want to say she's 20 or 20. No, she's 20. And so, or 19 or 20. And so she's trying to make it on her own. She knows nothing. She's never lived by herself. And I really like this book because I am 24 and I know nothing about life. I am trash. But I enjoyed her trying to navigate LA, trying to navigate being an adult and buying groceries and buying furniture and living without a shower curtain or without curtains for her house or thing. I thought it was fun. It was really cute. It was a really fast contemporary. If you're looking for something to read outside or on the beach or just to pretend you're on the beach, I recommend this. It's not very long. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. Probably gonna read it, reread it again throughout the summers. You know, it's one of those books. Then I have the next book I don't have a physical copy of. It is I Love You So Mochi. We'll put it here. And it is by Sarah Kuhn. That book was so cute. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It really made me want mochi. It is about a girl who goes to Japan to visit her grandparents who she's never met and kind of figure out what she's doing with her life. She's in high school and she's graduating high school and she's not really sure where she's going to go. She kind of feels like she's trapped in what her parents want her to do and what she wants to do, but she doesn't even know what she wants to do. And of course she meets a boy and it's so adorable and he's dressed like a piece of mochi. This book was just so adorable. I loved it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was just so cute. I loved it. I don't know how else to describe it. I do want to pick up a copy of it because I borrowed it from the library, but it's just so cute. And I really enjoyed it. And it was definitely one of my favorite romances that I've read. Well, not romance, but you know what I mean, that I've read this year. It was so cute. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about it. Then the next book that I read was Wild Card by Marie Lu. Again, I don't have it, so here's a picture. Wild Card was the sequel in the duology for Warcross. I hadn't read Warcross in like 2 years, so it was a trip. But I really did like Wild Card. I love the story. I know a lot of people didn't like Warcross, but I really liked it. I liked the main character. I liked all the characters, really. And it did take me a little bit of time to get into it because, again, I hadn't read Warcross in like 2 years and I didn't feel like rereading it. But after I got about a third of the way through, I was like, oh, I remember this. I really enjoyed it. The storyline, I think, was much stronger than the first book. I have an alarm on my phone. Okay, the storyline was much stronger than the first book, I think. And if you liked the first book but didn't love it, I think you'd prefer the second book. And I do want to pick up a copy of this so I can have it on my shelf with Warcraft, so I can just have the complete duology, because I'm a completionist. Yay! But overall, 4 out of 5 stars, real good. Then the next 4 out of 5 star book that I read, or the last 4 out of 5 star book I read, is Mooncakes. I got an arc of this from NetGalley, and that is by Suzanne Walker. This book was so cute. Oh, it's about witches, and there is a non-binary. One of the main characters is non-binary. It's real cute. I loved it. It's about witches. You should pick it up and read it in October. I just adored it. I loved it so much. The art style is so cute. If you like witches and really diverse, like really good diversity, there's a lot of diverse characters in this. If you like magic and whimsicalness, I really, really highly suggest this. It's so, so, so cute. Perfect read for October, for the fall, for Halloween. If you're not into spooky books, this is very, like, cute and adorable, and there's witches in it. Yeah, okay. And then now we get to my 5-star books. My 5-star books I'm so excited about. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite book of the year. I already know this is going to be my favorite book of the year. Okay, I know this. And I bought Becca a copy, and she's not a fantasy reader, but I'm going to make her become one because this book is so good. And that is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, yes. This book was amazing. This is an Alcrate book. I think it came last month, the month before, no, came 3 months ago. Whatever. This book was so good. If you don't know what Sorcery of Thorns is about, it is about a girl who works at a library, and in this world, there are grimoires. Grimoires are like magician books, sorcerer books, and they can get a little feisty. They have to like lock them up and stuff. But she works at a library, and she has to protect the world from these grimoires because they can get a little crazy. And she meets a boy who's a sorcerer, and oh, this book is so, so good. She ends up getting accused of a crime that she didn't commit, and her and the sorcerer, who she is very against because to them, sorcerers are bad and evil, they have to work together to clear her name. And there's a demon servant, Silas, who's adorable, and I love him so much. This book was so good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. I wish it was a sequel. It was so, so, so good. And the cover is gorgeous. Look at that cover. Look at that. There's an eyeball. It's so cute. It's so perfect. I don't even want to throw it on my book pile because it's so perfect. It was lovely. Best book of the year. I'm calling it now. It's so good. I have so many best book of the years because this is also one of my favorite books of the year. And this was House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. Look at this book. Just look at it. It's so pretty. This is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling that takes place by the sea. So there's a lot of like marine imagery, like nautical imagery. It's so nice. I loved this book. If you like fantasy and mermaids and princesses, you will love this book. There's no mermaids in it, I don't think. But in my head, there are mermaids in it. You know what you feel me? You feel me? So that's how I feel about this book. This vlog is 20-minute, this video is like nearly 20 minutes long, so I'm gonna hurry up. This book was real, real good. 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. I loved it. You should pick it up. If you like Sea Witch, pick this book up. Speaking of, I may have purchased Sea Witch Rising at the Barnes & Noble book sale. What? Okay. But, anyway, this book is amazing. I loved it so much. This is the Alcrate cover, but the regular cover, I think, has gold letters, and it's a little bit, like, grayer. This is just a more vivid color with silver letters. And, yeah, pick this up. It's real good. And that is all I read. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the video real fast because this is a really long video and I'm so sorry you had to sit there and listen to me talk about what I read. But overall, I had a decent reading month. Most of my books were 3 or 4 star books, but I got to read 2 of the best books that I have ever read. So I am definitely excited to read more in September. Hopefully I get more 5-star books because you can never have enough of those. And hopefully we stay away from the 2-star books because I was kind of disappointed to get 2-star books. But anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. And be sure to check out all my links down below. Thanks.